guys. Thanks for being here. Sorry y'all had to wait.
It's all good. We appreciate you talking to us.
Absolutely.
I don't have one.
We'll handle that.
All right. Just going to go around, make sure everyone's good, and then I'll give my name and spelling for you folks. All right, everyone good on the left here? All right, focusing on the right. All right, good deal. Good evening, everyone. My first name is Tyler, Tyler, last name Chandler. I'm the captain with the Mount Juliet Police Department. Tonight, we are here over an incident that began around 7:10 p.m. in the 2000 block of North Mount Juliet Road, which is a parking lot of a strip mall. One of our detectives was in that parking lot and overheard some type of altercation and heard one gunshot. He found the victim in the parking lot and then looked across the street and saw a suspect running away. Our officers quickly got into the area to complete a search, and we set up a wide perimeter of that suspect search as it continued west along Division Street, approaching Hickory Station Townhomes, down towards Cloyd's Presbyterian Church and the backside of Brookstone. As we put out an alert to our community over our text alert system, we began to receive reports from our community of this suspect and his description where he was running. As we continued to develop the search, we had K-9 teams on the ground. We had assistance from Metro Nashville with their helicopter. We then received another report from a witness that saw this suspect enter a townhome at the Hickory Station Townhomes. That is when we isolated our search and perimeter to that townhome complex. And as a vehicle left that townhome, we took a person of interest into custody. So right now, we're grateful to say there's no longer an active search. A person of interest is in custody. It is a juvenile male, and our victim is a 17-year-old male out of Nashville. They both had communications with each other and planned on meeting in this parking lot for unknown reasons at this moment. However, that meet escalated to the point where one gunshot was fired and our victim was hit one time. He's being treated right now with non-life-threatening injuries. We're grateful to our community who signs up for our text alert system, stays in constant communication with us so we can let them know anytime there's something happening here, whether it's a crash or a suspect search or a search for a shooter. At the onset, as you can imagine, it was a little bit chaotic for us. We had a detective on the scene calling out a shooting along with a suspect running. So we quickly got multiple units out here to find this suspect. One thing about Mount Juliet is we are relentless in our efforts to go after suspects who cause harm here. Regardless if it's a visitor who happens to be our victim, we're still going to go after the suspect. Our city is very low on violent crime. Shootings like this rarely happen, and in fact, I can't remember the last time it occurred. But regardless of that, we're going to go after the suspect, and I'm thankful that we do have a person of interest in custody. So tonight it appears two juveniles had some type of altercation. One juvenile fired a shot.
Captain, can you tell us about the arrest? Was it peaceful? Did he surrender peacefully? Was it a knock on the door? Kind of how did that happen?
Yeah, with this incident, we brought out a lot of our special teams, our K-9 teams, along with our special response teams. There was a lot of men and women on the ground searching for this suspect. And when we stopped that vehicle, there was total compliance. No incident escalated beyond that.
Is this someone that you have that you recognize, that you guys have interaction with before? Or?
At this moment in the investigation, probably wouldn't be proper to me to reveal those details, but we do have a person of interest in custody.
Did that person of interest go into a townhome? And if so, did they know the person who owns said townhome?
Yes.
Okay, so they
Yeah, that person of interest was at a townhome where he was allowed to be.
And was that detective just kind of at the right place at the right time, or was it
He just
someone called earlier?
No, our detective was just in the area, right place, right time, saw it all occurring. Of course, we have officers going to the victim to render aid, which they did, applying measures to stop the amount of blood loss that was coming off the victim, hopefully saving that victim's life. And then we also had officers trying to find a suspect who ran across the roadway towards a church service, large church that was ongoing. We asked some area businesses and churches and our residents just to shelter in place while we did this search, because we didn't want the suspect to get somewhere where they shouldn't be and cause further harm.
2 questions. Where was the victim shot, and what has led you all to call the person you arrested a person of interest as opposed to a suspect?
Sure. So with the person shot, not proper for me to get into his type of injury and where that injury's at, so I'm not going to go into that. It's more investigative detail. We really need to leave that unknown at this moment so our investigation can be nice and clear so we can receive good prosecution through this. But with the person of interest and the suspect, really, that's a matter of semantics if you want to get into that. But right now, it's just a person of interest. We're not quite to the stage of a suspect, but we're also not looking for a suspect.
Have we recovered a weapon yet?
At this moment, I'm not going to get into those details about recovery of a weapon.
Has any of the businesses been damaged? Do the bullets only strike the person, or do they hit any windows or anything like that?
Sure. We believe only one shot was fired, and that one shot hit our victim.
It seems like the community is really kind of where your extra set of eyes and ears and helping you make this arrest.
Absolutely. Mount Juliet's a wonderful community. We have a great partnership with our community. It's a team effort between the police and our community members to keep this city safe. We're thankful for a safe city, of course. We're not going to keep everything out. 2 people chose to meet, one from Nashville. It's likely our person of interest is from this location, chose to meet in a nearby parking lot, had some type of meeting that escalated to a gunshot being fired. Regardless of that, we're going to do what we can to secure our community, make sure it's safe, get the shooter into custody, but also then do what we can to be sure there's proper prosecution so our victim, regardless of the circumstances, receives proper justice.
At this time, no indication over what they were meeting for, or what the argument
Right.
was about.
Those details I just can't get into. Yeah. All right. Again, we're thankful to the Mount Juliet community staying connected with us on those text alerts. It is super helpful for us to immediately get that word out when we are searching for a suspect. And of course, the reports we received from our community on that suspect location were very helpful and leading to that person of interest or suspect, whatever you want to call it, them going in, getting them into custody.
How long do you think you all will still have crews out here processing and investigating?
Well, we have a scene to process where the shooting occurred, so we will be there throughout the evening and out of the night. The scene behind me that you see was a command area that was set up at the parking lot of Treehouse Learning Academy. We will be clearing that fairly shortly. There's another scene on Hickory Station Lane where the suspect was and left, and we'll be there throughout the night processing that scene. All right. Thank you all. Have a good night.